Imagine standing at the edge of a vast sea, its waves roaring and crashing, seemingly impassable. You have no boat, no means to cross, and yet you are told, walk forward, the sea will part for you. This is not a scene from a fantasy novel, but a story from ancient scriptures, one that has stirred the hearts and minds of believers for millennia. Welcome to our exploration of the incredible, often controversial miracles that defy logic and ignite strong beliefs. Today, we delve into real-life stories that seem to laugh in the face of reason, stories that promise quick rewards of faith and inspire unwavering devotion. Miracles. The word itself evokes a sense of wonder and mystery. It suggests the intervention of a higher power, a moment when the natural order is suspended and the impossible becomes possible. But what if I told you that miracles are not just relics of ancient times? What if I told you that even today, in our age of science and technology, there are stories of miraculous events that continue to baffle the skeptics and bolster the faithful? In this video, we will journey through a series of real-life miracles, events that challenge our understanding of reality and suggest that faith, indeed, can move mountains. We will hear about people who have experienced the inexplicable, moments where their faith has led to outcomes that defy all logical explanation. By the end of our exploration, I will share with you a powerful prayer, one that has inspired countless believers and may just spark a miracle in your own life. Stay with us as we uncover stories that range from the miraculous healing of incurable diseases to divine interventions in moments of extreme peril. These accounts are not just tales from a distant past, but contemporary testimonies that remind us of the enduring power of faith. Whether you are a steadfast believer, a curious seeker, or a skeptical observer, this journey promises to be both enlightening and inspiring. As we embark on this exploration, let us ground our journey in a timeless truth, a scripture that has been a beacon of hope for countless individuals. In Matthew 17:20, Jesus tells his disciples, "If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you." This quote sets the stage for our discussion. It speaks to the immense power that even the smallest amount of faith can wield. A mustard seed, tiny and seemingly insignificant, yet capable of growing into a mighty tree. Similarly, our faith, no matter how small, has the potential to bring about extraordinary change. It invites us to believe in the impossible, to trust in a higher power that can transform our lives in ways we cannot even begin to imagine. So, as we delve into these miraculous stories, keep this scripture in mind. Let it remind you that faith is not about having all the answers, but about trusting in the possibility of the impossible. It is about holding on to hope, even when the world tells you to let go. And who knows, by the end of this video, you might find that your own mustard seed of faith has grown into something truly miraculous. Join us now as we embark on this incredible journey, exploring real-life miracles that continue to inspire and amaze. And remember, sometimes all it takes is a little faith to move mountains. In the grand tapestry of human history, there are few concepts as deeply woven into the fabric of our collective consciousness as that of faith and miracles. These twin pillars of belief have been the cornerstone of countless lives and civilizations, offering hope and inspiration in the face of the impossible. To truly grasp their profound impact, we must first turn to the sacred texts that have illuminated the path for millions. We begin our journey with the pivotal moments in the Bible where faith manifests in miraculous deeds, showcasing the extraordinary power that belief can wield. One of the most iconic examples is the story of Jesus walking on water. Found in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and John, this event occurs in the dead of night as Jesus' disciples struggle against a storm on the Sea of Galilee. Suddenly, they see him approaching, walking calmly on the turbulent waves. Terrified, they initially mistake him for a ghost, but Jesus speaks to them saying, "Take courage, it is I, don't be afraid." Peter, ever the bold disciple, asks to join him on the water. With Jesus' invitation, Peter steps out of the boat and walks towards him. However, as soon as doubt creeps in, Peter begins to sink, and Jesus rescues him, gently rebuking his wavering faith. This narrative underscores the theme that unwavering faith in Christ can empower us to transcend our natural limitations. Equally compelling is the story of the parting of the Red Sea. This dramatic event, recounted in the book of Exodus, sees the Israelites trapped between Pharaoh's advancing army and the impassable Red Sea. In this moment of desperation, Moses, guided by divine instruction, stretches out his hand over the sea. Miraculously, the waters part, creating a dry path for the Israelites to escape. As Pharaoh's forces follow, the waters return, engulfing the pursuers. This story stands as a testament to the deliverance that faith in God's promise can bring, even against insurmountable odds. These foundational texts are not mere tales of yore. They are profound narratives that shape our understanding of divine intervention. The biblical narrative on faith and miracles is a rich tapestry, interwoven with instances where the natural order is suspended and the impossible becomes possible through belief. The story of Jesus walking on water speaks volumes about the transformative power of faith. It tells us that faith is not about the absence of fear, but the courage to step out of our comfort zones, trusting in a higher power. Peter's initial success and subsequent failure highlight the human condition. Our faith often falters, yet divine grace is always there to catch us. In contrast, the parting of the Red Sea illustrates collective faith and deliverance. Here, the miracle is not just for an individual, but for an entire nation. It shows how faith can lead to liberation and the overcoming of seemingly insurmountable obstacles, reinforcing the idea that with divine support, no challenge is too great. Together, these stories and others like them in the Bible offer a profound insight into the nature of faith and miracles. They teach us that faith is a powerful force, capable of invoking divine intervention and transforming our reality. These narratives have shaped not only religious thought, but have also permeated our cultural consciousness, influencing art, literature, and our collective imagination. As we ponder these texts, we are invited to reflect on the nature of our own faith. Are we, like Peter, willing to step out of the boat, even amidst the storm? Do we, like the Israelites, trust in a path through the sea when escape seems impossible? These ancient stories, while rooted in a specific religious tradition, speak to universal themes of hope, courage, and the extraordinary potential of faith. The biblical narratives of faith and miracles serve as a powerful reminder that belief is not a passive state, but an active force. They challenge us to look beyond the visible, to trust in the unseen, and to open our hearts to the possibility of the miraculous. Whether we face personal trials or collective crises, these stories offer a timeless message. With faith, mountains can indeed be moved. To truly grasp the weight and wonder of biblical miracles, one must first immerse oneself in the historical tapestry of ancient times. The world in which these miracles were recorded was vastly different from our own, teeming with both spiritual fervor and tangible hardships. This was an era when the divine was intimately interwoven with daily life, where every event, whether mundane or miraculous, was seen through the lens of divine will. Consider the story of Moses parting the Red Sea. This was not merely a grand spectacle, but a pivotal moment in the lives of the Israelites, a people under severe oppression yearning for deliverance. The backdrop of their miraculous escape was one of immense suffering and unyielding hope. Enslaved by the Egyptians, the Israelites faced insurmountable odds. The parting of the Red Sea was not just a demonstration of God's power, but a profound act of liberation. A moment when divine intervention shattered the chains of slavery and opened the path to freedom. Similarly, The miracle of Jesus walking on water must be seen in the context of the tempestuous Sea of Galilee and the lives of the fishermen who depended on its waters. These men, including Jesus' disciples, were acutely aware of the sea's dangers. When Jesus walked on water, it was not merely a defiance of natural laws, but a profound statement of his authority over the chaos and fears that dominated their lives. The biblical narratives are rife with such moments, where the miraculous breaks through the ordinary, imbuing historical events with divine significance. These stories were recorded not merely as historical accounts, but as testaments of faith, meant to inspire and fortify the beliefs of those who heard them. They were written during times of great trials and triumphs, when the lines between the natural and the supernatural were blurred, and the divine was seen as an active participant in human history. The figures central to these miraculous events are as crucial to our understanding as the events themselves. Take Moses, for instance. His life, from the bulrushes of the Nile to the summit of Mount Sinai, is a narrative replete with divine encounters. Moses was not just a leader, but a mediator between God and his people. His miracles, from the plagues of Egypt to the parting of the Red Sea, were acts of divine intervention that established his authority and underscored his unique relationship with God. Elijah, another towering figure in the history of miracles, performed wonders that reinforced his role as a prophet in turbulent times. His confrontation with the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel is particularly striking. Here, the miraculous fire from heaven that consumed his sacrifice was a powerful assertion of the true God's supremacy over false idols. Elijah's miracles were not mere displays of power, but were deeply entwined with his prophetic mission to guide and restore the faith of Israel. And then there is Jesus, whose miracles are perhaps the most well-known and widely discussed. From turning water into wine at Cana to raising Lazarus from the dead, Jesus' miracles were signs of his divine nature and his mission of salvation. These acts were not isolated spectacles, but were deeply connected to his teachings and his ultimate purpose. They served to reveal the kingdom of God and to invite people into a new understanding of faith and life. These figures and their miraculous deeds have profoundly shaped the development of faith and belief. Their stories have been passed down through generations, becoming foundational to the religious traditions that followed. The miracles attributed to them were seen as tangible proofs of divine intervention and power, reinforcing the belief in a God who is both immanent and transcendent. Understanding biblical miracles requires more than just a reading of the events. It demands a journey into the historical and cultural contexts of the time. It calls for an appreciation of the figures whose lives were touched by the divine and whose stories continue to inspire and challenge us today. These miracles, set against the backdrop of human history, remind us of a time when the divine walked among us, turning the ordinary into the extraordinary, and forever altering the course of human faith and belief. In contemplating the grandeur of faith and its miraculous manifestations, one is often led to ponder the very nature of belief and divine intervention. The theological landscape is rich with concepts and interpretations that seek to explain how faith can indeed move mountains, as the scriptures declare. Faith, in its most profound essence, is the unwavering trust in the unseen and the assurance of things hoped for, as delineated in Hebrews 11:1. This conviction is not merely a passive state of mind, but an active, living trust in the omnipotence and benevolence of God. The miracles, as recounted in the Bible, serve as testaments to this dynamic faith. Consider the account of Jesus walking on water, a narrative found in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and John. This miraculous event is not merely a spectacle, but a profound demonstration of faith. Peter, upon witnessing Jesus walking towards the boat, steps out onto the tumultuous sea. His initial success is abruptly curtailed by doubt, leading to his sinking. Jesus' subsequent rescue of Peter and his gentle rebuke, "O you of little faith, Why did you doubt? Matthew 14, verse 31, underscore the pivotal role of unwavering faith. Similarly, the parting of the Red Sea, as described in Exodus 14, is a dramatic portrayal of faith and divine power. Moses, faced with an insurmountable obstacle and the imminent threat of the Egyptian army, is instructed by God to stretch out his hand over the sea. The waters part, allowing the Israelites to escape. This event not only emphasizes God's might, but also Moses' faith in God's command, illustrating how faith can indeed lead to miraculous deliverance. These narratives, among many others, form the bedrock of Christian understanding of faith and miracles. They are not isolated incidents, but are woven into the larger tapestry of God's relationship with humanity, showcasing the transformative power of faith. Throughout the annals of church history, several theologians have profoundly shaped the understanding of faith and miracles. Their contributions offer deeper insights into these divine mysteries. St. Augustine of Hippo, one of the most influential early Christian theologians, delved deeply into the nature of miracles. In his work City of God, Augustine argued that miracles are not violations of natural law, but are instead manifestations of higher divine laws that transcend human understanding. He viewed miracles as signs pointing towards the ultimate truth of God's kingdom, intended to inspire faith and reveal God's glory. Thomas Aquinas, another towering figure in Christian theology, provided a systematic explanation of miracles in his seminal work, Summa Theologica. Aquinas distinguished between three types of miracles: those that nature could never do, such as the resurrection of the dead; those that nature could do but not in the same order, such as sudden healing; and those that nature could do but God does without the operation of natural laws, such as the instantaneous multiplication of loaves and fishes. Aquinas emphasized that miracles serve to confirm the truth of the Christian faith, acting as divine interventions that bolster human belief. In more recent times, the Swiss theologian Karl Barth offered a nuanced view of miracles. Barth argued that miracles should be understood not merely as supernatural occurrences, but as events that reveal the character and will of God in a profound way. He contended that miracles are integral to God's self-revelation, breaking into human history to disclose divine love and power. Each of these theologians, through their writings and teachings, has contributed to a richer, more comprehensive understanding of faith and miracles. Their interpretations invite believers to see miracles not as arbitrary anomalies, but as meaningful acts within God's redemptive plan. The theological exploration of faith and miracles reveals a complex and awe-inspiring landscape. Through biblical narratives and the insights of influential theologians, we gain a deeper appreciation of how faith can indeed move mountains. It is a testament to the enduring power of belief and the miraculous ways in which God continues to work in the world. Imagine, if you will, a time when the very fabric of reality is gently pulled aside to reveal the divine threads woven through our existence. It is here that we find the miraculous, those splendid moments when the impossible seems to bow to the will of faith. The Bible is replete with such instances, and they serve as the foundation for arguments supporting the belief in miracles. Take, for instance, the story of Jesus walking on water. This is not merely a tale to astonish, it is a profound demonstration of faith transcending natural laws. As Jesus approaches his disciples amidst the stormy sea, he defies the very principles of physics. Peter, with his heart aflame with belief, steps out of the boat and for a moment shares in this divine defiance. It is only when doubt creeps in that he begins to sink. Here the message is clear. Faith, even in its smallest measure, has the power to alter reality. Moreover, consider the parting of the Red Sea. When Moses, standing at the edge of desperation, raises his staff by the command of God, the waters themselves retreat, forming walls that safeguard the Israelites' passage. This event is not just a spectacle of divine power, but a testament to the belief that faith, when wielded with conviction, can move the very elements of the earth. These narratives are supported by numerous theological interpretations. Scholars like Thomas Aquinas argued that miracles are signs that point beyond themselves to the greater reality of God's kingdom. They are not mere anomalies, but purposeful acts of divine communication, reminding humanity of God's omnipotence and benevolence. Aquinas believed that miracles serve to confirm the truths of faith, acting as divine credentials to the messengers of God. Yet in the realm of faith and reason, there exists a counterpoint, a voice that questions and seeks to understand the miraculous through the lens of skepticism. Critics of the belief in miracles often argue that these events are either misinterpretations of natural phenomena or fabrications designed to bolster religious faith. David Hume, the renowned philosopher, famously posited that miracles are violations of the laws of nature and, as such, are inherently improbable. He argued that the weight of evidence required to substantiate a miracle must be extraordinarily high, given the regularity of natural laws. For Hume, the testimonies supporting miracles often fall short of this standard, rendering them suspect. Contemporary scholars, too, engage in this debate. Some argue that the miraculous accounts in the Bible should be understood metaphorically rather than literally. They propose that these stories were crafted to convey deeper spiritual truths rather than to report historical events. For instance, the parting of the Red Sea could be seen as a symbolic narrative representing the liberation from oppression and the journey towards spiritual freedom. Moreover, the advent of scientific understanding has led many to seek natural explanations for events once deemed miraculous. Advances in archaeology and historical research often shed new light on ancient texts, providing context that can demystify certain accounts. The challenge here is not to diminish faith, but to integrate it with reason, fostering a belief that is both informed and profound. In examining these differing perspectives, it becomes evident that the debate surrounding miracles is not merely a matter of evidence, but of worldview. Those who support the belief in miracles see them as essential expressions of a reality that transcends the material world. They argue that miracles are vital signs of God's ongoing involvement in creation, offering hope and affirming faith. Conversely, those who challenge the belief in miracles often emphasize the importance of consistency and empirical evidence. They seek to understand the universe through the principles of science and reason, viewing miraculous claims with cautious skepticism. In the end, the discussion of miracles invites us to ponder the nature of faith itself. Is faith a leap into the unknown, a trust in the unseen that welcomes the miraculous? Or is it a reasoned conviction, grounded in evidence and open to the mysteries that lie beyond our understanding? Perhaps in the grand tapestry of existence, faith and reason are not opposing forces, but complementary threads, each enriching our comprehension of the divine. In the grand tapestry of human belief, the concept of miracles is not unique to Christianity. Indeed, ancient mythologies are replete with tales that bear a striking resemblance to the biblical narratives of divine intervention. Consider, for example, the mythologies of ancient Greece. The gods of Olympus were known to interfere in human affairs, performing feats that defied natural laws. Zeus, with a mere flick of his wrist, could summon thunderbolts, while Hermes, the fleet-footed messenger, could traverse great distances in the blink of an eye. These acts, much like the miracles of the Bible, serve to remind mortals of the gods' omnipotence and their direct involvement in the world. Similarly, in ancient Egyptian mythology, the gods wielded immense power, often performing miraculous acts. Osiris, the god of the afterlife, was believed to have been resurrected after being dismembered by his brother Seth. This tale of death and resurrection echoes the Christian story of Jesus, who rose from the dead, triumphing over death and offering eternal life to his followers. The parallels are intriguing, suggesting a universal human yearning for hope and redemption through the miraculous. However, while similarities abound, the differences are equally significant. The miracles in biblical texts often serve a dual purpose. They are not only displays of divine power, but also acts of compassion and justice. Jesus healing the sick, giving sight to the blind, and feeding the multitudes were acts meant to alleviate suffering and restore dignity. In contrast, the miracles of ancient mythologies often serve to highlight the capricious nature of the gods, who act out of whimsy or personal vendettas rather than a consistent moral framework. Turning our gaze to other major religions, we find that the belief in miracles is a common thread that runs through the fabric of human spirituality. In Islam, miracles, known as mujizat, are central to the faith, with the Prophet Muhammad's life being replete with miraculous events. The splitting of the moon, the night journey, Isra and Miraj, and the Quran itself, believed to be a divine revelation, are all seen as signs of God's power and presence. Much like in Christianity, these miracles affirm the faith of believers and serve as a testament to the truth of the divine message. In Hinduism, miracles are often associated with avatars and saints. The Bhagavad Gita recounts how Krishna, an avatar of Vishnu, performs numerous miracles, including lifting a mountain to protect his devotees from a storm. Saints and sages, through their intense devotion and ascetic practices, are believed to acquire cities or supernatural powers, enabling them to perform miraculous feats such as healing the sick, materializing objects, or bilocation. These acts, much like those in Christianity, are seen as manifestations of divine grace and the power of faith. Buddhism, though primarily focused on the path to enlightenment through personal effort and meditation, also contains accounts of miracles. The Buddha himself is said to have performed many miracles, such as walking on water, multiplying his body, and emitting rays of light. However, in Buddhism, miracles are often viewed with a degree of skepticism, seen as potential distractions from the true goal of enlightenment. They are considered secondary to the primary aim of spiritual awakening and moral conduct. Despite the varied contexts and interpretations, a point of convergence among these religions is the role of miracles in affirming faith and illustrating the power of the divine or the spiritual. Whether through the compassionate acts of Jesus, the divine signs given to Muhammad, the miraculous deeds of Hindu avatars, or the supernatural feats of the Buddha, miracles serve as powerful narratives that inspire believers, reinforce religious teachings, and offer glimpses into the transcendent. In divergence, while Christianity and Islam often emphasize miracles as direct interventions by a personal God, Hinduism and Buddhism allow for a more impersonal understanding of the miraculous, tied to spiritual laws and practices. This distinction highlights the different theological underpinnings and cultural contexts that shape the understanding of miracles in various religious traditions. Thus, as we explore the landscape of global belief, we see that miracles, in their myriad forms, continue to captivate the human imagination, bridging the gap between the mundane and the divine, the seen and the unseen. They are, in every sense, a testament to humanity's enduring quest for meaning and connection with the transcendent. In the grand tapestry of human belief, the thread of miracles weaves its way with a brilliance that illuminates both Jewish and Christian traditions. From the dawn of time, miracles have been seen as the touchstones of divine interaction, the fingerprints of God upon the fabric of our world. Within Judaism, miracles are not mere wonders, but are profound signs of God's covenant and his enduring relationship with his chosen people. The parting of the Red Sea, the manna in the wilderness, these are not just tales but foundational events that speak of God's saving power and providence. As these stories passed through the generations, they were not static but dynamic, adapting and evolving with the lived experiences of the people. The prophets, from Elijah to Elisha, continued this tradition, demonstrating that God's power was not confined to the past, but was an ever-present reality. Each miracle served as a reminder of God's unwavering commitment and an invitation to renewed faith and obedience. In the Christian tradition, miracles take on a new dimension with the advent of Jesus Christ. The Gospels are replete with accounts of healings, exorcisms, and even the raising of the dead. These acts are not mere exhibitions of power, but are deeply symbolic, pointing to the inbreaking of God's kingdom and the restoration of all things. Jesus' miracles are acts of compassion that reveal the heart of God, inviting people into a transformative relationship. Over the centuries, the understanding of miracles in both Jewish and Christian traditions has continued to evolve. In the medieval period, the scholastics sought to rationalize miracles within the framework of natural law, seeing them as God's way of working beyond, but not against, the created order. The Reformation brought another shift, with miracles being viewed as confirmations of divine truth, while in modern times, the debate often centers on the interplay between faith and reason, science and belief. When we turn our gaze outward, comparing the concept of miracles across different religions, we find both striking similarities and profound differences. In Hinduism, miracles are seen as manifestations of the divine power inherent in the gods and their avatars. Tales of Krishna lifting a mountain with his little finger, or the miraculous deeds of saints and sages resonate with the same awe and reverence found in Judeo-Christian traditions. Buddhism, while often perceived as more philosophical and less theistic, also acknowledges miraculous occurrences, particularly in the lives of the Buddha and his followers. These miracles often serve as signs of spiritual attainment and are meant to inspire faith and devotion among adherents. In Islam, miracles, or ayat, are seen as signs from Allah, with the Quran itself being considered the greatest miracle of all. The miracles performed by prophets, such as Moses' staff turning into a serpent or Jesus healing the blind, are acknowledged and revered, reflecting a shared heritage with Judaism and Christianity. Despite these convergences, each tradition holds a unique perspective on the nature and purpose of miracles. For some, they are primarily signs of divine favor and intervention. For others, they are demonstrations of spiritual power or attestations to the truth of a particular teaching. What remains common, however, is the human response to these extraordinary events, a response that ranges from awe and wonder to faith and devotion. In examining these interfaith perspectives, we see a rich tapestry of belief, where miracles serve as bridges between the mundane and the divine, the known and the unknown. They are reminders of the mystery that lies at the heart of existence, inviting us to explore the depths of faith with both humility and hope. It is a peculiar feature of our age that, when confronted with tales of wonder, we turn not to the poets or the theologians, but to the archaeologists. These modern-day adventurers, armed not with swords but with spades, delve into the depths of the earth, seeking to unearth truths buried beneath the sands of time. Among their most fascinating finds are those that touch upon the miraculous tales of the Bible, shedding new light or sometimes casting long shadows on our ancient beliefs. Consider, if you will, the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls in the mid-20th century. Hidden in the arid wilderness of Qumran, these texts provided a treasure trove of information about Jewish beliefs and practices during the Second Temple period. Among the scrolls, we find references to miraculous events, echoing the biblical accounts of divine intervention. These ancient manuscripts, painstakingly preserved, offer us a glimpse into the faith and fervor of a people who believed fervently in the power of the Almighty to break into their world. Then there's the case of the Pool of Bethesda, unearthed in the 19th century in Jerusalem. This site, mentioned in the Gospel of John as a place where the sick and infirm awaited the stirring of the waters by an angel, was once thought to be mere legend. Yet, the excavation revealed a complex of pools and porticos, aligning closely with the biblical description. Here, archaeology and scripture meet, each lending credence to the other, and we are reminded that faith and history are often intertwined in the most unexpected ways. These archaeological discoveries are more than mere curiosities. They carry significant implications for our understanding of biblical miracles. They stand as silent witnesses to the events recorded in sacred scripture, challenging us to reconsider the boundary between myth and history. The Dead Sea Scrolls, for instance, have stirred considerable academic debate. Some scholars argue that these texts reinforce the historical reliability of the biblical narrative, providing contemporary accounts that corroborate the miraculous events described therein. Others, however, suggest that the scrolls reflect the broader cultural and religious milieu of the time, offering insights into the hopes and fears that shaped the people's belief in miracles. In either case, the scrolls compel us to view the biblical miracles not as isolated incidents, but as part of a larger tapestry of human experience and divine interaction. The Pool of Bethesda similarly invites us to reflect on the nature of miracles. Its discovery has prompted a re-evaluation of the gospel accounts, suggesting that the miracles of Jesus were not mere fabrications, but events rooted in real places and times. This lends a tangible reality to the gospel stories, encouraging believers to see the miraculous as an integral part of their spiritual heritage. Yet, these finds also pose challenging questions. If some miracles can be anchored in historical and archaeological evidence, what does this mean for those that cannot? Are we to dismiss the latter as mere legend, or do we allow for the possibility that the miraculous transcends our ability to prove or disprove it through physical evidence? In this interplay of discovery and doubt, faith and reason, we find the true significance of these archaeological endeavors. They do not simply confirm or deny our beliefs. Rather, they invite us into a deeper exploration of the mysteries that lie at the heart of our faith. Through them, we are reminded that the pursuit of truth is not a journey toward certainty, but a voyage into the vast and wondrous unknown. As we ponder these discoveries and their implications, let us embrace the questions they raise, for it is in seeking answers that we grow in understanding. And, in the end, perhaps the greatest miracle is not the discovery itself, but the enduring quest for knowledge and the faith that drives it. In the realm of biblical archaeology and scholarly research, the pursuit of uncovering the tangible evidence of ancient miracles is both a fascinating and contentious journey. Scholars have dedicated lifetimes to studying the scriptures and seeking the remnants of these divine interventions in the physical world. The scholarly consensus on the discoveries related to biblical miracles, while diverse and sometimes divided, offers a rich tapestry of insights and debates. The current views among scholars are varied, reflecting the complexity of interpreting ancient texts and artifacts. On one side, there are those who advocate for a literal understanding of the miracles described in the Bible. These scholars point to archaeological findings that they believe support the historical accuracy of biblical narratives. For instance, the discovery of ancient Egyptian chariots and human bones at the bottom of the Red Sea has been cited by some as potential evidence for the miraculous parting of the sea during the Exodus. While the evidence is compelling to some, it remains a subject of ongoing investigation and debate. Another significant discovery often discussed in scholarly circles is the city of Jericho. Excavations have revealed collapsed walls dating back to the time period described in the book of Joshua, where it is said that the walls of Jericho fell after the Israelites circled the city and blew their trumpets. These findings have been interpreted by some as supporting the biblical account, though others argue for a natural explanation or question the precise dating and context of the collapse. Conversely, there are scholars who approach these miracles from a metaphorical or allegorical perspective, suggesting that the stories were meant to convey moral and spiritual truths rather than historical facts. This view posits that the miracles described in the Bible were a means to inspire faith and illustrate divine power, rather than events to be verified by modern scientific methods. The debate extends to the miracle of Jesus walking on water. Some researchers have proposed natural explanations, such as the possibility of a rare weather phenomenon or a hidden sandbar. Others maintain that the story serves as a powerful symbol of Jesus' mastery over nature and his divine authority. The lack of concrete physical evidence makes this miracle, like many others, a subject of interpretation rather than empirical confirmation. To fully appreciate the impact of these discoveries and the scholarly consensus, it is essential to understand the historical context in which these miracles were recorded and the artifacts were unearthed. The ancient world was a place where the boundaries between the natural and supernatural were often blurred. People of the time experienced and understood their world through a lens that was deeply intertwined with their religious and spiritual beliefs. The writings that describe these miracles were created in a period where oral tradition played a significant role in preserving and transmitting stories. As these narratives were passed down through generations, they were shaped by the cultural, social, and theological contexts of their time. The miracles served not only as demonstrations of divine power, but also as foundational stories that reinforced the identity and faith of the community. Archaeological discoveries, such as those in Jericho or the Red Sea, must be interpreted with a keen awareness of these historical contexts. The artifacts and ruins unearthed by archaeologists provide a glimpse into the ancient world, but they do not always offer definitive answers. Instead, they open up new avenues of inquiry and discussion, allowing scholars to piece together the past in ways that illuminate our understanding of biblical texts and their significance. The impact of these discoveries on contemporary understanding of miracles is profound. They challenge modern believers to reconcile their faith with the evidence, or lack thereof, presented by archaeology and historical research. For some, these findings bolster their faith, providing tangible connections to the sacred stories they hold dear. For others, the ambiguity and complexity of the evidence prompt a more nuanced and symbolic interpretation of the biblical narratives. The ongoing research and debate among scholars continue to enrich our understanding of these ancient texts and their miracles. As new discoveries are made and new technologies emerge, our ability to explore and interpret the past grows ever more sophisticated. Yet the essence of these miracles, their power to inspire, to provoke wonder, and to deepen faith, remains undiminished. The scholarly consensus on the archaeological discoveries related to biblical miracles is a mosaic of perspectives, each contributing to a fuller picture of the past. Whether approached as historical events or metaphorical lessons, these miracles continue to captivate and challenge us, inviting us to explore the depths of our faith and the mysteries of the divine. As we reflect on these scholarly insights, we are reminded of the enduring power of these ancient stories and their ability to speak to the human experience across the ages. In the grand, swirling cosmos of human belief and experience, few things capture the imagination as profoundly as miracles and mysteries. These moments, where the natural and the supernatural seem to collide, have been the bedrock of faith for millennia, prompting wonder, reverence, and sometimes skepticism. Let us journey through some notable biblical events that epitomize these miraculous phenomena and examine them through both scientific and theological lenses. Consider, if you will, the story of Jesus feeding the 5,000. This event, recounted in all four Gospels, tells of a vast crowd gathered to hear Jesus speak. As the day wears on, the disciples grow concerned about how to feed the masses. Jesus takes 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, offers thanks, and begins to distribute them. Astonishingly, the food multiplies, feeding all present with 12 baskets of leftovers remaining. This miracle, in its simplicity and grandeur, illustrates the boundless provision that faith can unlock. Another riveting example is the resurrection of Lazarus. In the Gospel of John, Jesus receives word that his friend Lazarus is gravely ill. Delaying his journey, he arrives 4 days after Lazarus has died. Standing before the tomb, Jesus weeps, moved by the sorrow around him. Then he commands the stone to be removed and calls out, "Lazarus, come forth." To the amazement of all, Lazarus emerges wrapped in burial cloths, restored to life. This miracle powerfully underscores the theme of resurrection and eternal life, central to Christian faith. When examining these events, we must navigate the waters between literal and metaphorical interpretations. The literal view holds these stories as historical facts, divine interventions that suspend natural laws to reveal God's power. For many believers, the literal truth of these miracles is foundational, affirming the tangible presence of the divine in the world. On the other hand, the metaphorical perspective invites us to see these miracles as symbolic, rich in spiritual and moral lessons. For instance, the multiplication of loaves and fish can be seen as a metaphor for spiritual nourishment, where Jesus' teachings feed the soul's deepest hungers. Similarly, Lazarus' resurrection might symbolize the transformative power of faith and the promise of spiritual rebirth. From a scientific standpoint, miracles pose an intriguing conundrum. Science, grounded in observable and repeatable phenomena, struggles to accommodate events that defy its principles. Some attempt to explain biblical miracles through natural means, suggesting possible but rare natural occurrences that could align with the descriptions. For instance, some propose that the feeding of the 5,000 could involve an extraordinary communal sharing triggered by Jesus' example, rather than a literal multiplication of food. However, these explanations often fall short for those who hold a deep-seated belief in the miraculous. For believers, faith transcends the need for scientific validation, embracing the mystery and wonder that miracles represent. Reconciling faith with historical and scientific evidence is an ongoing dialogue. Believers often find a harmonious balance, seeing miracles as a testament to God's active role in the world, while acknowledging that not every event needs to fit within the confines of human understanding. Faith, by its nature, accepts that there are mysteries beyond our grasp. The exploration of miracles and mysteries in biblical narratives invites us to ponder the extraordinary. Whether we view these events through a literal lens, seeing them as divine acts, or through a metaphorical one, extracting deeper spiritual meanings, the impact on faith remains profound. These stories encourage us to look beyond the mundane, to embrace the possibility that the divine can and does intervene in our lives, often in ways that surpass our understanding. They remind us that faith, at its core, is about opening our hearts to the mysteries of the divine, trusting that, even in the face of the inexplicable, we are not alone. In the quiet moments of life, when the hustle and bustle of the world fades into a background hum, many find themselves contemplating the mysteries of existence. For countless individuals, this contemplation often circles back to the miraculous, those extraordinary events that seem to defy the very laws of nature. These phenomena, whether ancient or modern, profoundly influence personal faith, serving as both anchors and beacons in the journey of belief. Consider the personal testimonies that speak of miraculous healings. Stories abound of individuals diagnosed with terminal illnesses who, through fervent prayer and unwavering faith, find themselves inexplicably cured. These accounts are not just anecdotal whispers, but documented cases that baffle medical professionals and inspire countless believers. For the individuals involved, these miracles are not merely fortunate coincidences, but tangible manifestations of divine intervention. They become deeply personal affirmations of faith, transforming moments of despair into testimonies of hope and divine presence. One such account is that of a woman who, diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer, was given months to live. Turning to her faith, she embarked on a journey of prayer, supported by her community. Months turned into years, and regular medical checkups revealed a complete remission. For her, this was not just a medical anomaly, but a miracle that solidified her belief in a higher power that listens and responds. These personal experiences often lead to a profound deepening of faith. Individuals who witness or experience the miraculous often describe a renewed sense of purpose and a strengthened spiritual resolve. The miraculous becomes a lens through which they view the world, interpreting everyday occurrences as part of a divine tapestry woven with care and intention. Moreover, these experiences are not confined to the realm of physical healing. They encompass a wide range of phenomena, from inexplicable financial provisions to life-saving interventions in moments of peril. Each story, unique in its details, shares a common thread of divine involvement that transcends human understanding. These testimonies serve as powerful narratives that not only bolster the faith of the individuals who experience them, but also inspire those who hear their stories. While personal testimonies of miracles profoundly influence individual faith, the impact of these phenomena extends far beyond the personal sphere, deeply affecting collective religious practices. Within communities of faith, the miraculous is often celebrated and remembered through rituals, traditions, and communal gatherings that reinforce collective belief and identity. Consider the role of miracles in religious pilgrimages. Sites associated with miraculous events, such as Lourdes in France or the Shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe in Mexico, draw millions of pilgrims each year. These sites become focal points of communal faith, where the miraculous is not just a historical occurrence, but a present reality that believers seek to encounter. The collective journey to these sacred places, often undertaken with great devotion and sacrifice, is a testament to the enduring power of miracles in shaping communal religious life. At these pilgrimage sites, rituals such as the lighting of candles, the offering of prayers, and the participation in processions create a shared experience of faith. Pilgrims often report a heightened sense of spiritual connection, not only with the divine, but also with fellow believers. This communal aspect of experiencing the miraculous fosters a sense of unity and solidarity, reinforcing the bonds of faith that hold the community together. Moreover, the recounting of miraculous events often finds its way into the liturgical life of religious communities. In Christian traditions, for instance, the reading of gospel accounts of Jesus' miracles during worship services serves as a reminder of the divine power at work in the world. These readings are often accompanied by sermons that draw contemporary applications, encouraging believers to trust in God's ability to intervene in their lives. In addition to liturgical practices, the miraculous also influences the development of religious art and music. Hymns and songs celebrating miraculous events become part of the collective memory, sung by generations of believers as expressions of faith and hope. Artistic depictions of miracles, from the frescoes of medieval cathedrals to modern-day religious films, visually convey the power and presence of the divine, inspiring awe and reverence. The impact of miracles on collective religious practices also extends to theological education and discourse. Seminaries and religious institutions often include the study of miracles as part of their curriculum, exploring both historical accounts and contemporary testimonies. This scholarly engagement with the miraculous helps to ground communal beliefs in a deeper understanding of their theological and historical contexts. The influence of miracles on faith is both profound and multifaceted, touching individual lives and shaping communal practices. Personal testimonies of the miraculous serve as powerful affirmations of faith, transforming doubt into belief and despair into hope. These individual experiences, when shared within a community, reinforce collective faith and identity, creating a rich tapestry of belief that spans generations. The miraculous in its many forms continues to inspire and sustain faith, reminding believers of the enduring presence and power of the divine in their lives and communities. From the dawn of human history, miracles have captivated the imagination of artists and writers, serving as a potent symbol of divine intervention and the triumph of faith over adversity. The depiction of miracles in art and literature not only reflects the theological and cultural milieu of the times, but also influences how subsequent generations perceive and understand these wondrous events. In the early Christian period, miracles were often portrayed in the vibrant frescoes and mosaics that adorned the walls of churches and catacombs. These artworks served a dual purpose. They were didactic, teaching the illiterate masses about the miraculous deeds of Jesus and the saints, and they were inspirational, strengthening the faith of the viewers. One of the most iconic examples is the mosaic of the miracle of the loaves and fishes in the Basilica of Sant'Apollinare Nuovo in Ravenna, Italy. This mosaic, with its rich colors and detailed figures, captures the moment when Jesus miraculously fed a multitude with just 5 loaves and 2 fish, underscoring his divine providence and compassion. During the medieval period, the depiction of miracles in illuminated manuscripts reached new heights of artistic expression. The Book of Kells, an exquisite example of insular art from the 9th century, contains numerous illustrations of Christ's miracles. The intricate interlacing patterns and vibrant colors not only embellish the sacred texts, but also invite the reader to meditate on the divine mysteries. These manuscripts were not mere books. They were treasured objects that conveyed the miraculous power of faith through their very beauty. The Renaissance, with its renewed interest in classical antiquity and humanism, brought about a transformation in the representation of miracles. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Raphael infused their works with a sense of realism and human emotion that made the miraculous seem both divine and relatable. Leonardo's The Last Supper captures the moment when Jesus announces the miracle of the Eucharist, transforming bread and wine into his body and blood. The expressions and gestures of the apostles reflect a profound range of emotions, from astonishment to contemplation, making the viewer feel like a participant in this sacred moment. Raphael's The Transfiguration is another masterpiece that blends the miraculous with the human. The painting depicts the moment when Jesus is transfigured on Mount Tabor, his face and clothes shining with divine light, while Moses and Elijah appear beside him. Below this celestial scene, Raphael shows the apostles struggling to heal a possessed boy, illustrating the connection between divine power and human faith. The contrast between the heavenly and earthly realms in this painting highlights the transformative power of miracles and their enduring impact on believers. In contemporary times, the representation of miracles in art and literature has evolved, reflecting the complexities and ambiguities of modern faith. While traditional depictions continue to inspire, modern artists and writers often explore miracles through the lenses of symbolism and metaphor, seeking to uncover deeper spiritual truths. The 20th century witnessed a surge of interest in religious themes, with artists like Salvador Dali and Marc Chagall incorporating miraculous imagery into their works. Dali's The Sacrament of the Last Supper combines surrealism with religious symbolism, presenting the Eucharist as a mystical and transformative event. The ethereal, translucent Christ figure at the center of the painting invites the viewer to contemplate the mystery of the divine made manifest in the physical world. Marc Chagall's vibrant and dreamlike compositions often feature biblical miracles, infused with a sense of wonder and nostalgia. In his painting, Moses Receiving the Tablets of the Law, Chagall depicts the moment when Moses receives the 10 Commandments on Mount Sinai. The swirling colors and dynamic forms convey the divine energy of this miraculous event, while the inclusion of everyday elements like animals and village scenes roots the miraculous in the fabric of daily life. Literature, too, has continued to explore the theme of miracles, often with a focus on their psychological and existential dimensions. C.S. Lewis, in his novel The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, presents the miraculous through the allegorical figure of Aslan, whose death and resurrection echo the central miracle of Christianity. This story, while set in a fantastical world, speaks to the power of faith and the triumph of good over evil, resonating deeply with readers' spiritual longings. In contemporary literature, authors like Marilynne Robinson and Jan Martel delve into the miraculous with subtlety and nuance. Robinson's novel Gilead explores the quiet miracles of grace and redemption in the life of an aging pastor, John Ames. Through Ames's reflections, Robinson reveals how the ordinary moments of life are imbued with divine significance, inviting readers to perceive the miraculous in their own lives. Jan Martel's Life of Pi presents a modern parable that challenges readers to consider the nature of belief and the possibility of miracles. The protagonist, Pi, survives a shipwreck and shares a lifeboat with a Bengal tiger. This improbable tale, laden with symbolic meaning, invites readers to suspend disbelief and embrace the mystery of faith. The advent of modern media has further transformed the representation of miracles, making them more accessible and immediate to a global audience. Films, television shows, and digital platforms offer new ways to depict and disseminate stories of miraculous events. Movies like The Miracle Maker and The Passion of the Christ bring biblical miracles to life with stunning visual effects and powerful storytelling, allowing viewers to witness these events in a visceral, immersive way. Documentaries and television programs often explore contemporary accounts of miracles, providing testimonies and scientific investigations that both challenge and affirm traditional beliefs. In the digital age, social media platforms and online communities have become spaces where individuals share their personal experiences of miracles, creating a global tapestry of faith stories. These platforms democratize the narrative of miracles, allowing for diverse voices and perspectives to contribute to the ongoing conversation about the miraculous. The representation of miracles in art and literature, both historical and modern, reflects the evolving understanding of faith and divine intervention. These depictions continue to inspire, challenge, and deepen our perception of the miraculous, inviting us to see beyond the ordinary and embrace the extraordinary possibilities of faith. Imagine, if you will, stepping into a world where the ordinary is interwoven with the extraordinary, where the mundane becomes a stage for the miraculous. In this realm, personal testimonies of miracles serve as the heartbeat of faith, resonating with the profound truth that divine intervention is not a relic of ancient history, but a present reality. Let us journey through a tapestry of individual experiences, each a thread in the grand narrative of faith. Consider the story of a man who, against all odds, found himself healed of a debilitating illness. His journey began in the depths of despair, where doctors had given up hope, and every breath seemed a battle. Yet in a moment of fervent prayer, a profound sense of peace washed over him. It was as if the very essence of divine love had touched him, infusing his body with a vitality that defied medical explanation. This transformation was not merely physical but spiritual, igniting a faith that burned brighter than ever before. Then there is the account of a woman who, amidst the turmoil of life, experienced a miracle that forever altered her perspective. Burdened by insurmountable debt and facing the bleak prospect of losing her home, she turned to prayer with a heart full of hope and desperation. In an unexpected twist of fate, a benefactor emerged, providing the means to pay off her debts and secure her future. This act of kindness was more than a financial rescue. It was a beacon of God's provision, illuminating her path and deepening her trust in divine care. These stories are not isolated incidents, but part of a larger mosaic, each piece a testament to the transformative power of faith. They reveal a God who is intimately involved in the lives of his children, ready to respond to their deepest needs with grace and mercy. These personal encounters with the miraculous invite us to look beyond the surface of our reality and see the divine fingerprints in every corner of our existence. Beyond individual experiences, the celebration of miracles is woven into the very fabric of communal religious practices. It is within the embrace of community that these divine interventions are recognized, cherished, and shared, fostering a collective faith that is both resilient and vibrant. In many churches, testimonies of miracles are a regular part of worship services. These gatherings become a sacred space where believers recount their encounters with the miraculous, inspiring others to hold fast to their faith. One such community might recall the time when a member, diagnosed with terminal cancer, experienced a complete and inexplicable recovery. As the congregation gathered to pray, they witnessed what they could only describe as a divine healing, a powerful affirmation of their collective faith. Moreover, communities often mark these miraculous events with rituals and celebrations. In some cultures, the anniversary of a significant miracle is commemorated with special services, processions, and feasts. These events serve to remind the faithful of God's enduring presence and to renew their hope in His power to intervene in their lives. In addition to these communal practices, miracles also play a crucial role in shaping the collective beliefs and traditions of religious communities. They form the bedrock upon which faith is built, offering tangible evidence of the supernatural and fostering a sense of wonder and reverence. The stories of saints and holy figures, known for their miraculous deeds, are passed down through generations, becoming an integral part of the community's spiritual heritage. These communal reflections on miracles highlight the importance of shared faith and collective witness. They remind us that while individual experiences are significant, it is within the context of community that the full impact of the miraculous is realized. Together, believers find strength, encouragement, and a deeper connection to the divine, reinforcing the truth that miracles are not just personal blessings, but a testament to the power of faith that transcends individual lives. As we reflect on these testimonies and communal celebrations, we are invited to open our hearts to the possibility of the miraculous in our own lives. Whether through the quiet whisper of a prayer answered or the bold proclamation of a miracle witnessed, these stories challenge us to believe that faith, indeed, can move mountains. And in this belief, we find the courage to face our own challenges, knowing that the same divine power that worked wonders in the past is still at work today. In the bustling landscape of modern theology, the conversation surrounding miracles has taken on new dimensions, reflecting the complexities and diversities of contemporary thought. The dialogue is vibrant, marked by a variety of perspectives that seek to reconcile ancient beliefs with modern sensibilities. One significant trend is the resurgence of interest in Pentecostal and charismatic movements. These movements emphasize the active presence of the Holy Spirit in the world today, with miracles, signs, and wonders seen as tangible expressions of divine power. Leaders like John Wimber, founder of the Vineyard Movement, have played pivotal roles in promoting a theology that views miracles not as relics of the past, but as present-day realities. Wimber's teachings, grounded in the belief that doing the stuff of the New Testament, healing the sick, casting out demons, and performing miracles, is a mandate for modern Christians, have resonated widely, inspiring a renewed sense of expectancy and faith. Simultaneously, the New Apostolic Reformation, NR, has emerged, advocating for a restoration of apostolic authority and a belief in ongoing miracles. Prominent figures such as C. Peter Wagner have argued that the Church must reclaim its supernatural heritage to fulfill its mission in the world. The NR emphasizes the role of apostles and prophets, believing that these offices, accompanied by signs and wonders, are vital for the contemporary Church. On the other end of the spectrum, The field of liberal theology often approaches miracles with a hermeneutic of suspicion. Scholars like Marcus Borg have suggested that many biblical miracles should be understood metaphorically rather than literally. Borg's work, which seeks to demythologize the scriptures, encourages a focus on the existential and symbolic meanings of miracle stories. This approach appeals to those who struggle to reconcile scientific understanding with traditional beliefs in the supernatural. As we look to the future, the discourse on miracles is poised to face significant challenges, influenced by cultural and societal shifts. One such challenge is the increasing secularization of society. In many parts of the world, especially in the West, there is a growing skepticism towards religious claims, including those about miracles. This skepticism is fueled by a scientific worldview that often dismisses miraculous events as improbable or impossible. Theologians and believers alike must grapple with this skepticism, finding ways to articulate the relevance and reality of miracles in a context that often demands empirical evidence. Furthermore, the rise of interfaith dialogue presents both opportunities and challenges for the understanding of miracles. As different religious traditions interact more closely, there is a need to acknowledge and respect diverse miracle narratives while also seeking common ground. This dialogue can enrich theological perspectives, but also requires a careful navigation of deeply held beliefs. Another emerging trend is the integration of technology and digital media in discussing and disseminating theological ideas. Social media platforms, podcasts, and online forums have become vital spaces for theological exchange, allowing for a broader and more immediate dissemination of ideas. This technological shift democratizes theological discussions, but also demands discernment in distinguishing credible sources from spurious ones. Lastly, the impact of global crises, such as climate change, pandemics, and social injustices, is shaping contemporary theological reflections on miracles. In times of widespread suffering and uncertainty, the question of divine intervention becomes even more poignant. Theologians are challenged to address how miracles can be understood and experienced in the midst of such crises, offering hope and meaning in a fractured world. The landscape of modern theological thought on miracles is rich and varied, characterized by a dynamic interplay of tradition and innovation. As believers and theologians continue to explore and debate these profound mysteries, they contribute to a living, evolving faith that seeks to understand the miraculous in ways that resonate with the complexities of the contemporary world. Whether through the exuberant faith of charismatic movements, the critical inquiry of liberal theology, or the new horizons opened by digital and global interactions, the quest to comprehend miracles remains a central and compelling aspect of human spirituality. In the ever-evolving landscape of theological thought, new perspectives on miracles continue to emerge, challenging and enriching our understanding. These fresh viewpoints often arise from the confluence of ancient wisdom and modern inquiry, reflecting the dynamic interplay between tradition and contemporary experience. One such perspective emphasizes the relational nature of miracles. Rather than viewing miracles as isolated events, this approach considers them as deeply intertwined with the communal and personal dimensions of faith. Miracles, in this light, are seen as expressions of God's relational engagement with humanity, fostering a sense of connection and divine intimacy. This view invites us to see miracles not just as supernatural interventions, but as profound affirmations of God's ongoing presence and love. Another emerging perspective draws from the fields of psychology and neuroscience, exploring the impact of faith and belief on the human mind and body. This approach suggests that miracles might be understood as the natural outworking of deeply held spiritual convictions, with faith itself acting as a catalyst for remarkable physical and psychological transformations. While not diminishing the divine aspect, this view highlights the profound interconnectedness of mind, body, and spirit, proposing that miracles could be seen as the harmonious alignment of these facets under the influence of faith. Eco-theology offers yet another fresh lens through which to view miracles. This perspective integrates environmental consciousness with spiritual understanding, suggesting that miracles can also be seen in the natural world's resilience and regenerative capacities. The renewal of ecosystems, the intricate balance of nature, and the awe-inspiring phenomena of the natural world are interpreted as ongoing miracles that reflect the Creator's hand in sustaining and renewing creation. This viewpoint encourages a deeper appreciation of our environment and calls for a responsible stewardship that aligns with the miraculous nature of the world we inhabit. As we look to the future, several trends and challenges stand poised to shape the ongoing discourse on miracles. One significant trend is the increasing dialogue between science and theology. As scientific understanding progresses, it continually challenges and refines theological concepts, prompting a re-evaluation of miracles in light of new discoveries. This dialogue can lead to a more nuanced and integrated understanding, where science and faith are seen as complementary rather than contradictory realms of human experience. Another future trend is the growing emphasis on global and interfaith perspectives. As the world becomes increasingly interconnected, theological discussions are enriched by diverse cultural and religious insights. This global exchange fosters a broader and more inclusive understanding of miracles, recognizing the universal human quest for meaning and the transcendent. Interfaith dialogues about miracles can reveal commonalities and differences, promoting mutual respect and deeper comprehension of the divine's manifold expressions. Technological advancements also pose both opportunities and challenges for theological thought on miracles. On one hand, technology offers new tools for exploring and documenting miraculous claims, potentially providing empirical support for phenomena traditionally deemed supernatural. On the other hand, the rise of digital skepticism and the pervasive influence of technology on human perception may challenge traditional beliefs, requiring theologians to address questions of authenticity and faith in a digital age. Lastly, the future of theological thought will likely be shaped by the ongoing quest for social justice and human flourishing. Miracles, in this context, are increasingly seen not just as individual experiences, but as communal and societal transformations. The miraculous is interpreted through acts of compassion, justice, and reconciliation, reflecting a divine mandate to bring about healing and wholeness in the world. This perspective calls for a theology that is deeply engaged with the struggles and hopes of humanity, seeing miracles as signs of God's redemptive work in both personal and collective realms. The emerging theologies related to miracles invite us to expand our horizons, integrating traditional beliefs with contemporary insights. They challenge us to see the miraculous in new and profound ways, fostering a faith that is both intellectually robust and deeply transformative. As we navigate these evolving perspectives, we are reminded of the enduring mystery and wonder that lies at the heart of the miraculous, calling us to a deeper trust in the divine and a more profound engagement with the world around us. As we draw our exploration to a close, let us revisit the key themes that have woven the fabric of our discussion. We have ventured into the realms of faith and miracles, examining their foundations in sacred texts, their historical contexts, and the theological interpretations that have shaped our understanding. We have compared these beliefs with those of other cultures and religions, delved into archaeological discoveries that shed light on biblical narratives, and reflected on the unexplained phenomena that continue to inspire and challenge our faith. In contemplating the enduring significance of faith and miracles, we are reminded of the words of C.S. Lewis. Miracles are a retelling in small letters of the very same story, which is written across the whole world in letters too large for some of us to see. Miracles, whether grand or subtle, beckon us to perceive the divine in our midst. They invite us to transcend the mundane and glimpse the extraordinary, affirming that the hand of God is at work in ways both mysterious and profound. Faith, too, is not merely a relic of antiquity, but a living, breathing force that shapes our lives and communities. It is the mustard seed that grows into a mighty tree, the unseen foundation upon which we build our hopes and dreams. In a world often mired in skepticism and doubt, faith calls us to trust in the unseen, to believe in the impossible, and to hope against hope. As we conclude this journey, we encourage you to reflect on your own experiences of faith and miracles. Share your thoughts and stories in the comments below, for it is in sharing that we build a community of belief and support. If you found this video enlightening, do not hesitate to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and click the notification bell to stay updated on our future content. Your feedback is invaluable to us, so please leave your suggestions for topics you would like us to explore in upcoming videos. Let us end with a prayer, invoking the divine presence to inspire and uplift our hearts. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the gift of faith that sustains us through life's trials and tribulations. We marvel at the miracles that reveal your power and love, reminding us that nothing is impossible with you. As we go forth, may our hearts be ever open to your presence, our minds receptive to your wisdom, and our spirits emboldened by the hope that springs eternal. Guide us in our journey of faith, that we may become instruments of your peace and love in the world. Amen. In closing, remember that faith can indeed move mountains, and miracles, both great and small, are the signs of God's enduring love and presence in our lives. Keep believing, keep hoping, and let your faith shine brightly in all that you do.